Hey people, Shaman Hawk here, First Shamanic Lodge. So, yesterday I got a comment on one of my videos, the video I last did about the demonic possessions and attachments. And the person commented, about they were going through a personal ceremony trying to kind of retrieve a lost part of the self. They didn't go into a lot of detail about that, but it did make me think of some things that are coming back around. When I say come back around, there's a lot of these new age topics, spiritual topics that come back every couple of years, just time and time again. And if you've been doing this as long as I have, you start to see the cycles. Some cycles are a little longer than other ones. Past life regressions, they don't come back too often, just 3 times in my lifetime. Uh, but like retrieving the parts of self, that's a kind of a medium one. It comes around regularly. The ones that really come back the most is taking teacher plants and other substances to get, instant enlightenment, which never happens, right? So, so I thought I'd talk a little bit about the soul retrieval or retrieval, whatever they want to call that. And people feel that after traumas or really bad experience, they lost a piece of themselves and they need to go back and get it for some reason. And I've never been able to figure out why, because anytime they told me the reasons why that made sense, it was easy to ask a couple questions that made them think that maybe they weren't having a complete thought. And I mean that in a good way too, because a lot of people will get this yearning to know what's going on with them, and somebody will throw out one of these new age cliches or topics and give some regurgitated response they got off some plagiarized new age book, and the person will go, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." Well, yeah, it makes sense on the surface until you go a little bit deeper, and that's the real part of shamanism. And actually, it's a very important part of a shamanic apprenticeship is watching the shaman go through the process and working with people. All that being said, I'm seeing the soul retrieval thing come back, the rebirthing thing come back, all this. People, let it go. You lost something, it was probably okay. Losing your memory, that's not cool. You do that as you get older. I'm dealing with it. But uh, I want you to go ahead, and we often use nature as our great shamanic teacher. Nature's worked some things out over the years. And when you watch nature, it works. If you watch most of the species, other than human beings, the procedures work. Somehow our frontal lobes and vocal cords really screwed up that process. So in nature, you're going to watch the trees lose leaves, limbs, before they eventually die off. With ourselves, we lose hair, skin, nails. You know, we lose part of the products that we ate the day before. Loss. If you really want to call it loss, that's all part of it. It could be regeneration, it could be evacuation, it could be all kinds of things. But we have to keep that cycle going. If we don't, we have these stagnated parts of ourselves. Sawdust, not COVID. So don't be so anxious to get back something that was allegedly lost. Maybe you just need to separate from it. Maybe it didn't serve you. Maybe nature did what it does best and gets rid of the things that we don't need. But don't go back trying to get these things. Going back into the past and overanalyzing often just sustains the problem. There's no need to do that. It's like picking the wound. You can go back and try and find some answers for things, and the problem with this is if you don't have good guidance, people have a tendency to dwell on that answer, and that's if it's the right answer. Because again, people want to know something, and they have this bad habit of holding on to the first answer as if it's the right one. And the people who get paid to guide people through a process, they need to come up with a product. So if they can get a good series of events that work out, they go, aha, see, that was the issue all along. It was your mother, it was your school teacher, it was whatever that caused this issue that you got going on that started screwing up all your relationships or whatever. No, that might not be the case. Same thing with going back and trying to find your purpose in life. You know, for the most part, that's your choice. You make that purpose. So, in closing, I just want to remind people that loss is part of nature. Don't be so quick to go back and try and dig up something. There's just no point in it. When is it useful? It's useful after you stabilize the person in the present life. And that's possible. People say, oh, I can't get stable until I figure out the source. No, that's procrastination. Let me use another metaphor. I've done a lot of rescue work. You can get this person that's panicking in a situation, holding on to the sinking boat, won't leave the chair in the burning house, but you get them to realize what's happening. And if they can stop and look around and go, yeah, that's step one. That's good enough right there. And you just leave it right there. No yeah buts or anything. Okay, but you get to the person where they're stable, then you can start to slowly work back into some exploration into the past. But as far as the retrieving, and when I use that word, I mean like they're trying to get whatever it was to come back. No. Okay? It doesn't work that way, people. Once something's separated from you and you're continuing to grow, which you do in everyday life, that's how you sustain yourself in the world of the living. This thing that separates from you starts to go bad. All right, leave it gone. If you lost your arm, sorry you lost your arm. You're not gonna go find it and try to put it back on. It's going bad. Okay. So, and I don't mean to make light of the people that are going through these issues. It's just that um, I just see so often that people get led astray. I wish there were more good shamans out there. I could refer people because, and by the way, if you're thinking about doing this, serve a good apprenticeship, you know, become the good shaman because if you're good and you get a good reputation, you don't have too much work. I promise that. Um, I'm happy I can refer people to new shamans or apprentices. And by the way, your apprentices can be very functional for you at certain levels. Hope that helped. Again, if you got any questions, leave them in the comments. I'll make more videos on them. And wish you all the best.